Namaste, beautiful people. I hope you're well. So, I wanted to share a little transition, something that has been calling to me over the past couple of weeks, and that I feel is really, really important to share. And I guess there was a part of me that was holding back before because, it is challenging to even express some of these ideas, particularly when we're talking about race equality, racism, prejudice, all these experiences that are tied in with the experiences that um, very hurtful and traumatic experiences that people have had throughout their lives. But now is the time, all in divine timing. I'm very much aware that things come when they need to come. So a few days ago, I was at my in-laws' place and the news came on. And now I don't watch the news at all. I don't listen to the radio. I somehow tend to stay away from news feeds on social media and that kind of thing. And I do that intentionally because I don't really want my psyche to be bombarded unnecessarily and also to be influenced by the stuff that's out there. And when the news was on for those, 20 minutes in the background, 15 minutes in the background, and of course, I was picking it up. And I'm also very curious as well, because I'm like, I haven't watched the news. This is really interesting to see how things are being portrayed, how things are being projected out to us, because the news, let's face it, the media is very much a tool of control and manipulation of the masses. Again, another reason why I stay away from it. I just can't be bothered with it. I don't want to have to go away and clear that stuff. I'd rather use my time for other things. So what I observed was, so this is like weeks after the George Floyd incident. And what I'm observing on news, and apparently it's very prevalent, is that night after night after night, Sky News, BBC News, CNN News, whatever news it is, are constantly reporting on other crimes, on other traumatic incidents where white police officers are effectively assaulting, traumatizing, hurting people of color in the streets, mistaking Black and Asian men for criminals, banging them up, putting them in jail, and then stories of the families having to fight for this, having to fight for justice. And I do believe that it's time for us to absolutely raise awareness for the challenges that we face as humanity and really face this stuff and get to grips with it. And at the same time, I think it's really important for us to be aware of some of the other agendas that are going underhand, or that are underlying this situation. For us to be really fully informed and we can empower ourselves to be able to stand in our truth, stand in our beliefs, having utilized our own free will to discern, to navigate this sea of information that we're being fed. It's really up to us to start to look at the bigger picture, all of this, and go, how does that sit with me? Where does that sit with me? So I want to unpick this a little bit. So there is a very specific agenda from the media to pull at the threads of guilt in the psyche of the human. We have all played all the roles under the sun throughout various lifetimes. We've all been the victim and we've all been the perpetrator. We've all been the criminal and we've all been the saint. So within our whole system, within our energy system, within our soul, within our mind, our psyche, we hold the energetic imprints of the things that we did and the things that we experienced. We hold the energetic imprints of the karma, of the trauma, of the burdens of the trauma, of, you know, how it felt, of what we took on as a result of that. We hold the guilt of having been the perpetrator. We hold the guilt of having allowed ourselves to be abused for so long. And, you know, and not just from past lifetimes, many of us can also feel the imprints from the ancestral line and from our own lives, our own experiences, the experience of our ancestors, where they have been colonized or they have been the colonizer. And so this guilt is held energetically within our system. And when we watch stuff like that on TV, our heart is already feeling for George Floyd and then all of the other highlighted cases, for people of color in general, for what they are enduring at this time on planet Earth. And then on top of that, we are being pummeled day after day after day with these other stories of how white people or authority or whatever it is are again using force, are traumatizing others, are behaving in these ways. And this very much starts to pull at those strings of guilt, not just if you are white, but anybody. To see a person at a disadvantage of being in that situation, so many of us can feel that guilt of our privilege or guilt of our color, or just some random feeling of guilt that we have because this person is going through that. And what this does is, if we have an untrained and an unchecked mind, is this further alienates us. This further isolates us, because what happens is it forces our psyche to become triggered. So we feel the guilt, we feel the shame attached to that, we feel the anger, the frustration, or the fear, the fear like, that could happen to me, that could happen to my father. And all of that comes up, and when that comes up and it's, you know, it's heavy, it's maybe even overwhelming. And maybe we don't know how to navigate it. And our untrained mind, we don't know what to do. And so our default setting is to just suppress it, is to just push it away. Get rid of it. Get on with my everyday. Don't talk about it. Don't visit it. Don't address it within me. Just suppress it and push it down. But you see, when we push it down, we are further entrenching those feelings, those burdens, that shame. We're pushing it down and we're saying, you're not important, you need to go away. And that's almost adding an extra layer of kind of trauma to our system. It's maybe not trauma. In some cases it is. In some cases it becomes a traumatic situation we live in, where I'm constantly triggered and I'm having to subconsciously push all my stuff down, and that in itself does become traumatic, and people don't understand why they're so anxious, why they're so overwhelmed. But even if it doesn't become traumatic, it still becomes very disconnecting. We are disconnecting ourselves further. We're not moving into unity of our system. We're pushing that unity away. We're just saying, no, let's just push things down and not connect to this stuff and just get on with it. And so in the long term, in terms of us expanding our consciousness, awakening, in terms of us building and growing that awareness, and ultimately, you know, becoming whole, that's becoming further and further away, because we're pushing things further and further down. And you see, the powers that be, they know this, they understand fully how this works. Okay, they get it, and that it's a part of that agenda. Why do you think there aren't beautiful stories? Okay, so all of that happened, but here are beautiful stories of how people of different backgrounds, different races, different classes, or whatever you want to look into, come together in peace and love and harmony in their communities and create magic and sing and dance together and live together. How about, wouldn't those stories be a little bit more enlivening, a little bit more in these times? Wouldn't those be more appropriate? But no, what we're seeing is more of the same, more of the trigger. Let's trigger them. Let's poke and prod and trigger everybody to get them all riled up, to get them further away from the true nature of themselves. And I'm going to throw it in there, to distract us. To distract us from the task at hand. What we are here to do. We are here to be soul family, to live together, to experience together, to learn from each other and create and manifest this beautiful world. And it's not for us. We're doing it for our children. Okay, we're doing it for us too. Obviously we come and we have a beautiful experience, but this is my existence. What I am manifesting and creating is for the next 7 generations of my lineage, and I'm taking that very seriously. So I'm not going to be coerced and corrupted and distracted by those ridiculous stories, that circus that's going on out there, that blockbuster movie. What about you? What choices are you going to make? Are you aware of your soul vision? Are you aware of your soul's journey, of what you've come here to do? Have you tuned into the mission that your being has right now here on planet Earth? What you're going to do to help to manifest this vision that your soul has? Have you tuned into that? Have you stabilized into that? Have you taken that and said, yes, I feel so confident and so clear on this. This is what I'm going to make my life about? Because if you haven't, you can. And with this clarity will come your confidence, will come your devotion, will come your discipline to stay focused. You will know what you need to cut out. You will know and see what's distracting you, and you will want to stay focused in on that path. We are becoming impatient. We're becoming impatient as human beings because we are feeling really triggered. And we want to do something about it right now. It needs to happen right now. We need to fix this. We need to march. We need to protest. We need to do all of this. And yeah, we absolutely need to take spontaneous, right action, evolutionary action in our own lives, in our communities, in our families. Absolutely. But there's also the wisdom, an innate wisdom and flow and synchronicity that comes with patience, with waiting and listening very deeply to the wisdom of our higher selves, to the wisdom of nature, to source. With that deep, deep listening, allowing that wisdom to come in and guide us and show us how to move forward, where to put ourselves, will come the flow and the connected flow between all of us, where we all telepathically, without even having to speak to each other, we all start to do this, weave this beautiful magic, and it all joins up together. Because as humans, this is our innate creator or God or source given gift. This is a gift that we gave to ourselves, that we have the ability to transcend the physical, the material, to transcend even the 5 senses, and to tap into each other, tap into the planet, tap into nature, utilizing these other extrasensory perceptions. We are already weaving our magic without having to fully know what every single person on the planet is doing. Now, I'm not saying that we all need to be silent and not speaking to each other. What I'm saying is that we need to trust this innate power we have, this innate wisdom, this innate pool of wisdom, this channel that we have, the ability we have to channel and tap into that innate wisdom, and to start to tap into the guidance. Where do we need to go next? And through this, we'll hear the guidance from our soul, of our soul journey and our earth mission also. Because we are all empathic starseeds. We are all in tune in some way to energy, to each other. The thing is, though, as empathic starseeds, as children of the stars, of the skies, of the cosmos, of creator, of source, whatever you want to say, we have the ability to absorb and take on energy, and we do this, but so much of it's not ours. So much of this fear and this shame and this anger that's coming through, we're absorbing that, we're taking it on as if it's ours, and because then we feel and embody this energy, we feel like we have to do something about it. So this is my invitation to you, is to start to look at that. What is it you think you need to do about it? What is it you think you need to do to solve? Do you think you're the only person that can do this? Where are those thoughts and beliefs coming from? Is there a savior pattern within you? Is there a martyr pattern within you? I'm the only one that can do this. So I invite you to look at this, to come into it and look, listen, and feel down into your core, into your heart. What is it that you are here to do? How can your light, your energy contribute to the missions that are important to you, the visions that are important to you? And start to recognize and acknowledge that you have already taken responsibility by coming here to this earth, that your beautiful energy, your light that you shine out to others in your community is enough. That just emanating your joy, your blissfulness, your kind nature is enough. Already, just being here, your presence is enough. And how can you build on that? How can you come into your sovereignty, your full-on sovereignty, so you are no longer influenced or manipulated by the agendas of big business, by the media, by the medical or pharmaceutical industry, whatever it is? How can you come into your full sovereignty or knowing of what and who you are, without those distractions, clear? So I hope that this has been received with an open heart. I love you all dearly. This message is just so clear to me, and it's so dear to my heart. For us to get on this path of purposeful living, of dharma, of sovereignty, it's about taking full on control. It's about empowering ourselves, taking the control back, and then not feeling like I need to be in control of me, but being in power, in my own power. And doing that, it takes discipline. There's a whole set of practices around it, and this is what I'm here to do, to teach and guide you to be and stabilize on that journey of growth, of evolution, sharing the holistic tools, sharing the love, creating safe, beautiful environments and safe spaces for you to open up, for you to face these shadow elements of yourself in a way that is liberating and fun and beautiful, and not hard and challenging and dragging yourself through the dirt. This is what I'm a specialist in. So please get in touch with me if any of this resonates. Drop me a line. Let's have an illumination call, discovery call. There are so many ways that I can support you, and other people that I could direct you off to, refer you to. Have a beautiful day, people. Namaste.